What's up, strong people? Beck here from Strongman.com, recapping the Arnold Africa that happened this past weekend. It's the next stop in the Arnold World Series, as they call it, which is the qualification tour for the Arnold Classic in Ohio. Basically, whoever wins it wins each one of these qualifiers. They qualify for the Arnold Classic in Ohio in 2019, which has $75,000 in prize money, blah, 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 and all that. And whoever doesn't keeps accumulating points. So, very heavy contest. In the preview video, I talked about how heavy it was. And it's such a hard place. I don't really have an answer for this. You can let me know what you think. But I feel like in order for these athletes to compete this often and do these many qualifying tours and all of that, I think it's good. It makes it more like a sport. But when they're this heavy, I don't think it puts on the best product, and I don't think you get the best performances if athletes are basically competing every 2 weeks to try to qualify and earn some sort of a living through the prize money. And it's not that entertaining of a show, and I know that they're different series, so they're conflicts, so they probably don't care what one or the other is doing, but there should be some sort of account taken in for, if this one's 2 weeks after World's Strongest Man, which is completely separate than the Arnold, I get that, but we know you want those good athletes that compete at Worlds here and healthy and to showcase it, so they're probably going to be a little beat up. So in order to maybe make this one a little lighter, even though this one seems like it was the heaviest ever. But on the other hand, I don't think you can make them too light, because the Arnold is the classic, which they're all trying to qualify for, is the heaviest show in Strongman. And I feel like any contest that you do, is a qualifying for a bigger contest, the qualifier should be within 10-15% of the heavier contest. So it's I don't know what to do as far as a promoter, but just something to think about. Do you think they should be lighter, or do you think they should be heavier and just prepare for it? Fuck it, it's Strongman, who cares if you blow a bicep every weekend? What do you think? It's on the athletes themselves to try to compete less. I don't know. I caught a little bit of the action. I think there was supposed to be a live stream, and unfortunately, I guess the first 3 events, it didn't really, the venue, there was problems with the internet. This is always a problem with live stream, but they did live stream the last 3 events, and as soon as there's links to that, I'll put it up on the recap on startingstrongman.com, which will also have this video embedded. Always check startingstrongman.com for your latest information. I caught some of the axle, a little bit of some of the other stuff, little clips here and there. It was a strange show, but Jits Kramer, who got second last year, who I didn't take into too much consideration in my preview. My bad. I forgot he got second. He lives down in South Africa. I think he's a Dutch strongman, and he did very well. Pretty much when it went down to it, him and JF Karan were tied with 38 points. And Jerry Pritchett was in third with 34.5, and Ronald Hanla at 31, and Johan Els 30.5 going into the last event. The axle clean press, which is 180 kilo, which is just under 400 pounds, I believe. Axle for reps. Don't want to be too negative, but the set, if that is the event, I really think should have been lighter. And no one likes training axle. It's especially heavy. I don't think anyone trained too specific for this show. And having it be the last event, it seemed like everyone went through the events very fast. So the athletes just looked done. And I kind of tuned in on that because it was going on overnight. I woke up early and it happened beyond, so I just watched the whole thing. And pretty much almost no one hit it. All the people that were in contention to win that I just mentioned, the top 5, all zeroed the event, and they still So that means that nothing got switched up in the top 5 at all. Andrew Clayton ended up getting 2 reps to win the event. He also won the arm over arm, definitely held his own. He ended up in 6th place. I know, he got a nice starting strongman grip shirt. I don't know if he was able to wear that under the axle, but I'm going to say he did, and that definitely helped. People just looked uncomfortable. It was just a standard axle with bumper plates and spring collars, not even lock collars. So the plates definitely moved around on Andrew after it. I just think, we got to use tires, real collars, just tape together mats. Like, there's $25,000 in prize money and a lot on the line. People are flying all over the place. It's just that event specifically just isn't what I'd expect from a pro level show. I'm gonna say that and put it nicely. I try to be positive, but yeah, this is just tuning in. Like, if I wasn't invested in the sport, that was a boring event. Almost everyone zeroed. Everyone looked in pain. Everyone was clutching their bicep. 2 reps won it. I don't know if there's some weird balance with that axle or something, but like Hanla, or Rano, whatever you want to, he had it. He got a weird clean, missed it, went to get it again, had a rep like up here and then danced all over the platform, and never really stabilized it and didn't get the down call. If he did, he wins the event. He's already qualified for the Arnold. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but he ended up placing, I believe, 4th. So he missed out on a couple $1,000s over just that, not being able to stabilize the rep at the top. But I think more than anything, it was just that they did 6 extremely heavy events. It looked on the span of just a couple hours. So props to the promoters for being able to run the show so fast. That's good for having a live environment, but. Yeah, when they're that heavy, the Arnold takes place over 2 days to do 6 heavy events, the actual classic. But some other performances, like what was it, 200 and how heavy was the damn stone? It was 220 kilos, which is like 484 pounds. And Els absolutely dominated, just like he won the stone at Worlds. He got 4 reps. I think there's some mix-up on Rano's stone, like it rolled away a little bit, stuff like that. Jerry Pritchett won the farmers and the yoke, I think, so he's doing good. But yeah, just the axle, it's just he missed that, so he could have won if he hit an axle press. Els skipped it. We know that he had some sort of shoulder injury at Worlds on the barbell clean and press in the finals, so hopefully that heals up because he's looking super improved from last year. But yeah, so basically at the end of the day, the standings were Jitz Kramer and JF Karan tied with 38 points. They gave JF Karan the win on a countback due to having an event win, which I believe was the deadlift. So JF Karan is now qualified for the Arnold Classic next year. So congrats to JF on making it back to the Arnold. And so far, who we have qualified is Hafthor Bjornsson. Oleki Novikov won the amateur. He's qualified. Henla won Arnold Australia to qualify him. Mikhail Shivakov won the Arnold South Africa. And JF Karan won the Arnold Africa. And in the point system, with Jerry Pritchett placing 3rd, he moved ahead of Kilskowski, who's I heard had issues with his flight, who couldn't make it. So now Jerry Pritchett and Kilkowski are the current 1 and 2 in the wild card spots to qualify for the Arnold Classic in Ohio. I think the next contest is up in Canada. I'll do a preview show because I know the events for that. I'm waiting to know the official competitors list, so I'll do one of those in the future. So Jerry Pritchett has 20 points, Kilskowski has 16, Jitz Kramer 14, Dimitar Sabatinov 13, Belsac 11, Brian Shaw 9, and so on. Interesting to know when Shaw, what qualifier he decides to do to make it back. I know, he has his foot injury, as he discussed on his YouTube channel at Worlds. Thankfully, a lot of the Arnold events are a little bit more static. That might help. I think he did the Arnold Europe last year. That seems like one he'd do again. So, anyways, that's the Arnold Africa. Heavy, looks like brutal. As definitely puts into the athletes when they whoever has the most fortitude to just survive the contest can end up on top a lot of time. That definitely seemed the case here. Not saying it's too heavy, because you want it to be heavy, like I said earlier. So it's just a tricky little balance the promoters have to deal with. So no fault on them, but I'd like the events to look a little bit more showy. I know it had a pretty decent deadlift setup, but yeah, the axle at the end just being a black bar with bumper plates and spring collars with taped together mats. I think we can all do better. Anyways, I'm Kalle Beck. Go to startingstrongman.com. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, like, share these videos. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get them in future videos. And of course, go to store.startingstrongman.com for all of your strongman training needs, including my ebook, How to Train Strongman in a Regular Gym.